For Wall Street Media, this is Nikki. I'm here with Doug, and we'll help you make money in the stock market with information you can't find anywhere else.
Hello, Nickelodeon. What do we have today? Cool stuff from California, right?
Totally cool stuff from California.
You look like your little California outfit on, right?
Well, you know what?
There we go.
I knew we were in California today, so I planned it all out this morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I appreciate that level of forethought.
I mean, I think ahead every morning.
I'll bet you do. You think, what am I going to try to get away with today? What do we have? We've got Security Research Associates Conference, San Francisco. MacArthur out there doing a fine job. And we've got Calidus, who we've seen recently at RBC, and I forget who else, but we saw them twice in the last week. What did they say today?
Well, Leslie Stretch, CEO of Calidus Software, CALD, discussed their newly developed partnership with INS Health to design on-demand services around the world and announced True Target, a new product released at the end of the last quarter designed to combine performance and bonus-related pay into one system.
Which he said was kind of a big deal.
The real interesting thing is it's only in the last 2.5 years or so that we brought out the analytics solution set that layers on top of the incentive compensation management environment. And so we're now beginning to see questions being answered that clients wanted to put to the system, if you like. Who sold what to whom, at what margin, in what region, at what point in time. Tell me about the performance metrics of my sales force. We've got one customer who actually uses the solution in call centers to manage attrition. And prior to the implementation, prior to the live environment, they would have 10, 20, 30 in some cases union disputes per month. Every time they were moving somebody out of a call center for lack of performance, there was no data to back up that decision. Immediate HR and union challenge. Very costly, big opportunity cost to the business. The last 12 months, they haven't had a single dispute. When you're faced with the data, the computer never lies, you're faced with the black and white data of the performance of a particular agent, it becomes an easier decision, a smoother decision. That ROI wasn't one that we anticipated, actually, when we built the solution. But many of our customers are beginning to use the data that they're generating from the environment in very different, very unique ways. Going beyond the sales environments, our addressable market is massive. It's every enterprise on the planet, basically, everyone that sells anything to anybody. But in realistic terms, that means there's about 18 million salespeople in the US. There's about another 20 million salespeople that we can say are career salespeople in Europe. There's probably, if I just give you one example of what happens in Asia Pacific, we've got potentially 900,000 payees in Vodafone India alone. So we've got 7 or 8 of the Vodafone operating companies already: Turkey, Romania, Egypt, New Zealand, Australia, Portugal, South Africa. And we've got the entire Belgian telco industry, which is not saying a lot. There's only 3 major telcos there. But we've got Proximus, Belgacom, and Mobistar. Now, when you start to think of the sales agents in Asia Pacific in the telco space, there's a massive payee count there. So we can't even quantify the sales force there. But in terms of the addressable market, we're moving our solution set to address the pay for performance problems of anybody in the enterprise, anyone that's on variable pay. So some of our banking customers, for example, Barclays in Europe, have 30,000 people on variable pay. It's 10% of their pay every month. It's the only part of their pay that they can influence, so emotionally it's the most important part of their pay. We manage that process for them. We've automated that whole environment. Not one of those people thinks of themselves as a salesperson. So we're starting to move the solution set beyond the salesperson.
Pretty neat company, right?
I agree. No. Are you waving your thumbs over there?
Yes, I am. No! Anyhow,
This is fair.
they remind me a little bit of my buddy Dave's company, Capteris, right? With like the close Microsoft tie. Microsoft's another software company.
I know who Microsoft is.
Microsoft's another
Age.
software company. Yes, I know that. I make Windows, the Office project. I'm talking to my new co-host.
Oh, no.
But anyhow, they remind me of my buddy Dave's company, Capteris, right? Super close Microsoft tie. I didn't know this, and we did them before, where their CEO left to go to Microsoft last winter. That's where he went. And but he's still on the board of the company. And at first I thought, man, that must be great for business. Then I thought of my buddy Greg, and I thought, Microsoft will obviously hire anybody. But I did like that they're going to the same on-demand model as Salesforce.com, which have done wonderfully. Do you know Salesforce.com ticker? Quick, this is a quiz.
Oh, it's a ticker.
Mom, she's out socializing far too much,
No.
thinking about work, Wall Street, and the internet far too little.
I am always thinking about work.
Don't you think so? I know what the ticker is, Doug. The ticker's CRM for Customer Relationship Management, which is what Salesforce.com do.
I learn something new every day here. Isn't that so great about being
Yes, it's so great. And these guys have big name partners with Salesforce and Verizon, and a nice connection with the CEO at Microsoft, and still remaining on the board. Very interesting company, out there working hard over the summer, man, to get the message out. Now, these next guys I tried to buy today with some of their shares, and E-Trade did their usual fine job and jammed it up my bleep. Why don't you give people the note on Unify? All
right. Todd Weil, CEO.
You got this one? Okay.
Can I continue? Are you going to interrupt? Todd Weil, CEO of Unify, UFYC, discussed the database business development products, including the new Web 2.0, the Composer Portfolio Solution, a migration solution for modernizing legacy applications, and a software and services solution for Lotus Notes applications. He also talks about their partnership with Kazel Technology.
They also have a partnership with Microsoft. This is the Microsoft show today, apparently.
The Microsoft era.
Yeah. Yes. Their partner guy just came from Microsoft, so opposite of Calidus, right?
Yeah.
And they had a press release about it, and I thought, oh boy, I wonder what happened. He was probably hanging out with Greg at the parties too much. But anyhow, they said instead of that, in the press release after this, it was very impressive because you rarely see this, right? The guy left Microsoft. He's at Unify. He's going to be their partner, development manager, right, or director of strategic partnerships. And they had a quote from the existing person at Microsoft in the press release still saying about how he's looking forward to working with them and growing the relationship quite a bit more, which I thought was very impressive.
It is impressive.
Because he's left.
Microsoft is always impressive.
Oftentimes after someone leaves, they don't have such good hard feelings. And in this case...
He's not talking to me anymore.
What happened is that they had very good feelings, and they actually expressed them in a press release. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Next note.
Next, we have Ted West, President and CEO of LookSmart, LOOK, announced a new green corporate logo being launched today, representing growth and profitability for the company. He also discussed the value proposition, which is to complement proprietary search engines, to focus on web publishers and search advertisers, to improve capital structure, and to revitalize sales and account management.
Yeah, I like these guys too. Don't forget, guys, in bad times, in a bad market, it's the small caps that come roaring back with the biggest gains. This is a pretty rough market, and I'm looking into these because of that. That's what always happens is the small caps come back strong, and then much later the big caps and the blue chips start to come back. Of course, I know that, Doug. Anyhow, these guys are partnered with Ask.com, and it appears to me that's like their biggest part of the business. And he said their revenue per employee has grown to $154K from $92K. Our revenue per employee is about $8. And they have a share buyback in progress. And now this is the interesting thing here, is they seem to have a very good business, growing business, right? The market cap's at $52 million. I think he said they had $34 million in cash on hand.
I wish I had $34 million in cash.
You don't?
Where do you think I could get that?
You don't? Your mom promised me that you did. Oh, no, that's the dowry. Guys, interesting because you've got a good business partnered with Ask.com in a tough market near their low, and I think that this could be a very interesting chance to look at these guys, and I may well add them to my portfolio.
Me too.
Thank you very much for that insightful feedback. Maybe perhaps your mom will send brownies.
My mom will send brownies,
to keep you on the show. What do we have with itex?
Steve White, CEO of itex, discusses the itex member benefits to obtain new customers and conserve cash by purchasing with itex dollars. He also talks about the transaction methods with itex checks, online capability, and the automated authorization line.
Yeah, now this is a pretty neat thing, right? Bartering, and for small businesses, right? Mm-hmm. And so you don't have to do one-to-one, so that if you have a small business and you make dresses, and I have a small business and I make lozenges.
Why do I have to make dresses?
Because you're a girl.
Can't I make lozenges?
No, the lozenges are going to replace you. But anyhow.
That's just not fair.
That's just not fair. But anyhow, and we wanted to trade or exchange services, right? Like I had extra lozenges, you had extra dresses, right? Sitting around an inventory that you want, but you don't want to give them away.
Right.
But you might be able to do a barter for them, and you might be able to barter with them for a small store who doesn't want something that doesn't have something that you want.
Right.
So then I trade with them.
So we're partners.
No, we do barter.
Barter.
But they do it in their dollars, so it doesn't have to be one-to-one. You might have $10,000 worth of dresses, and I might have $5,000 worth of lozenges, and we're doing a three-way where they do like hotel rooms and airfare and resorts and hard goods, and they do it all in their dollars as the middleman. It was a really interesting concept, right? And I think he said they've got 24,000 registered people. So pretty neat stuff. And again, a super small cap, $15 million. Maybe they'll rock it back to when things come back. I thought it was a neat concept. And especially, I think, in a bad economy, very interesting because you're looking to absolutely maximize what you have without having to lay out cash, right? Like, we're in a bad economy. Instead of tomorrow's lunch, I may see if someone will take you.
You're not going to see lunch.
No,
I can't come in tomorrow.
I'm going to barter you for lunch. I'm going to barter you.
I'm going to get eaten for lunch.
I offered German Mike today, and they asked me to please leave. Yeah, that's our quick little show. And we'll have more for you later, guys, from California Security Research Associates. Oh, do you know what? Why don't you give the URL, Nikki? So you guys can see the whole thing. I got it, Doug. wsw.com/webcast/SRA7. Thanks very much, Commit.
We're here every day at Wall Street Media. You can find us directly at wsmco.com. Thanks.